Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Contagious Culture Podcast. We are back. We are back. We're your hosts, Kyle King and Daniel Freeman. And the goal of this podcast is to help you create ecosystems and environments where people can thrive. Today's conversation is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a deep dive on a few different nonprofit systems. We're going to talk through why systems are so important for your organization. And before we get into all of the meat of the episode, we want you to do one thing for us. Can you like the episode? Can you subscribe? Can you be the person to review and share feedback, whether you love something or whether you have feedback that, hey, I would like to hear these types of things? And the reason that we want you to do that is because these episodes aren't just us talking. We talk all the time. These episodes are built to be able to expand, expose, and educate all of our listeners from all over the world on the strategies, the methodologies, and the tools that you can use after you get off of these episodes to be able to utilize within your organization, within your nonprofit, so that you can continue to scale it up. Dan, how you feeling today, man? It's your birthday, man. Let's tell the people.
I appreciate it. Today I turned 50. Thank you.
You're looking good for 50, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's the beard. It definitely hides everything. It's Monday, man. Monday is the best day. You got to start Mondays off right. So I'm ready to go. I have to say, though, I love Tuesdays, though, because we have our executive meetings on Tuesday.
I like Tuesdays, too, man.
Love Tuesdays. But Monday's great. We're going to start Monday off well.
Let's do it. So I have a lot of things that I've been seeing. Fortunately, my dad transitioned to Charlotte, North Carolina about a month and a half ago. And one of the things that he wanted to do when he got here was get out and volunteer. And who I am, especially the person that I am in regards to serving the community, showing up for people, all of those different things, and really being able to impact others comes from the foundation that I've learned from him. And he wanted to come here, volunteer, find community organizations. And being that someone that volunteered and built, service learning programs for schools, I know many of the organizations that have robust volunteering opportunities for just individuals in general. So I recommended 3 organizations: Samaritan's Feet, right here in Charlotte, amazing organization doing amazing work. Feed and See, also right here in Mooresville, also doing some amazing work. And Nourish Up, which is also an amazing organization doing some phenomenal work. And I wanted to be able to utilize one of those organizations because I've known it, I've been there, I'm familiar with the work, I love the mission, and I've been to the facilities, and I believe that that would be a great opportunity for him to volunteer and serve. So when he got here, I had him fill out and go to the different websites. I sat with him at the kitchen counter and we went through the various websites. And what we noticed is that they were practically all the same on the front end. But there was one thing that shifted. There was one thing, and it's going to get into what we're going to talk about today. So all of them started with get involved. And then you had to go through get involved and then find out where the volunteering is. And then all of them had some form of a form that collected people's information. What we call that in business is a capture card, a capture form. And it's your first name, your last name, your email, your age, and what type of volunteering you would want to do, and all of these different things to be able to determine what opportunities were available for this individual. And Feed and See went great. And then at the end of Feed and See, as well as Samaritan's Feet, at the end, it said, okay, thank you for your submission. A team member will follow up with you within a few days to be able to, start the onboarding process. But what separated Nourish Up from both of those other organizations was after he filled out the form, he was able to go on directly and choose which days and times and get on the schedule almost immediately. So we went with Nourish Up. It allowed him to get busy quickly. And he's now, 3 weeks later, been able to do roughly 25 to 30 hours of volunteering at these organizations. And I use this not to throw shade or not to talk about that this is a bad thing. I do this because he's now invested 25, 30 hours into one organization because of one system, because of one change. And even though I gave a direct testimonial, I was a recommender for all these organizations, there was one system that has now bought him in and engaged him. And when I asked him yesterday, I said, "Hey, Dad, do you want me to still get you involved with those other two organizations?" His response was, "No, I really like where I am. It's a routine, and I like the people and the work that I am doing." People, our listeners, anybody tapping in with us, that's a leader, that's an organizational leader, or even on the other side, as somebody that wants to lead in this space. What systems are you not integrating that's stopping other people from being able to work with you, engage with you, get bought in, and have the relationship that will allow you to be able to get them involved and eventually build an opportunity for you to ask them to not just donate time or talent, but to be able to invite them in to donate treasure? Talk to us, Dan.
Kyle, it's so important. And first of all, I want to say I didn't realize Nourish Up was Loaves and Fishes, because I certainly know Loaves and Fishes
Yeah,
from when
it's
I was.
all one now.
I didn't realize that. So that was, appreciate you saying that, because I looked it up and I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is, just different name. So I work in the nonprofit space. Our job, and you spelled it out perfectly, is to remove any barriers that hold people back from either helping us with our mission or hold us back from serving others. And I think you nailed it in a really simple way. Is it should be easy for people to give. It should be easy for people to volunteer. It should be easy for people to understand the mission and how your organization is serving the population that's important to them. But even more importantly, and we see this on a smaller level, right? We both have calendar links. And it's so easy when you have a calendar link, because you can have a conversation and you can just go right and schedule it. And I'm doing that this morning with someone who had to reschedule a meeting. And I look at that and think about what you said, and those things are all set up. That is an easy system where you don't have to wait. I can probably count on my hand over the last week 5 different scenarios where I filled something out and it said, "Oh, someone will reach out to you." And they either reach out way too quickly and I'm not prepared and like have not thought about it. And I'm like, well, that kind of ruins the experience. Like, you just caught me off guard. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't give me time to process. Or you never reach out at all. And I'm like, hey, I mean, I was dealing with that on Etsy over something. Like you've got to make it easy. And
Yeah.
in setting up those systems, it may take a week, may take a few days to perfect it, right? And smooth it out. But in the long run, that is how you engage people, is making it easy for them to engage with your organization.
That's such a powerful point, making it easy for people to engage with your organization. And I think about that as leaders, whether you're in the nonprofit space, for profit space, education, wherever you are, it's our responsibility to be able to think enough about the people that we're inviting into our system, to think enough about the people that we want to engage with or be employed by our company or volunteer with our organization or donate to us, to think about the system and that customer journey often that they're going to go through. We talk to nonprofit leaders all the time in our Growth Lab and Growth Alliance programs. And if you don't have these small things, simply if I go to your website and I want to learn about a program, is it easy for me to put in my email, learn about that program, and get an immediate um, deck about that specific program? When I think about what we're planning with the Contagious Culture Conference, is it easy when somebody wants to just request the sponsorship deck that they have a specific place to go, that the deck gets emailed directly to them, and then they have the information that they need? Is it easy for people to reschedule meetings? Is it easy to do all of these different things? And I think about when we think about every single step that we would want someone to take within our organization, whether it's, all right, well, what do I want someone to do once they come to my website? What are the 3 things? Well, I want them to learn about our story, I want them to get involved, and I want them to contact us. Okay, well, those should be your headers on your website. Okay, well, what are the ways to get involved? Okay, well, you can donate time, talent, and treasure. All right, well, what are those things? Then those can be our subheaders. Okay, well, what do we want them to know about us in regards to the about page? All right, well, our board, this, our story, what are these things? All right, well, how will they know about the impact that we've created? Well, do we have an impact report? So when we start thinking about what are the actions that we want someone to take when they engage with us? What are the systems, though? The Give Butters, the donor searches, the Givelifys, the Givesies, these platforms, the MailChimps, the HubSpots. What are the platforms that we can integrate, and how can we train our people enough in the processes to be able to communicate? Just like you said, Dan, you may fill something out and they reach out way too fast. Like I'm not ready for this. Like I just hit submit and I'm getting a phone call. Or they don't reach out at all. And now I've already now found another solution or another alternative or another company to potentially engage with. What are some ways that you would say that nonprofits need to improve in regards to their systems, or what are things that they can consider as they're approaching this work?
You were leading me on without me even saying anything. So you must have seen it in my eyes. I think there are two things that come to mind. First of all, we always talk about the business side, right? If you're not treating your nonprofit on the back end like a business, then the front end where you're actually serving your populations, it's not sustainable, right? So that's the first piece, is making it easy on the back end to manage all of the finances, because you need to know how much are you spending, how much is in the bank, what is coming in, right? That was one of the things that I always looked at, that I would talk with donors about, is I would say that they would say, well, I give 5 or 10,000 every year. And I'm like, I understand that. And I said, but would you consider signing a pledge so that we know and our back end team knows there is money coming in? They don't have to worry about it. You can say it's going to come in, but do we know that it's going to come in at the exact same time every year? Like, we want our back end to say, okay, let's prepare for this, right? So preparation, being proactive is key. Understanding all of that and having the systems. I think the second thing is similar to the corporate side, is customer experience. And you just mentioned that, right? I think nonprofits get so caught up in the work that they're doing, which is the purpose of the nonprofit, that they only think one-sided a lot of the time, right? We have talked about in the Growth Alliance and the Growth Lab about how volunteering and intentional and thoughtful volunteering opportunities is such an incredible way to get people involved in your nonprofit. Someone may not be ready for a gift, right? Or they may not be sure. Maybe they need a little bit of time just to see what you're doing. Maybe they need to be involved, because there's nothing better than involving people with the population you're serving, doing the acts of kindness and giving and servant leadership that you offer through it, giving them the opportunity to be part of that. There's nothing more powerful than letting someone experience that on, boots on the ground work that you are doing. So making that customer experience easier, more palatable, communicating exactly what's expected of them, what's going to happen, having team leaders to tell them where to go, what to do. It's anything, right? In the corporate side, they're always looking at, how do we make the customer experience better? And I think business back end and the front end customer experience are so important, because if you do that front end customer experience the best that you can and people love that, even if you're afraid of, not bringing in the money you need, not doing this or that, if those people get involved, they're going to become advocates for you. And then you're going to have an opportunity to leverage them, their networks, and potentially their financial resources, because they see what you're doing. So it really helps you create a sustainable system.
It's interesting that you said the word advocates, because one thing that I thought about is people are only patient with you when they're already advocates. People are only graceful oftentimes when they're already advocates. So on the front end, if it takes me 10 minutes to figure out how to fill out a volunteer form, or it takes you 3 days to be able to get back in touch with me, or there's no clarity and there's no, when I get to volunteer, when I get there, I don't know where to go and I don't know who to talk to and I don't know what this looks like. If I'm first time, I'm probably going to choose a different opportunity because that experience on the front end is important. But like Dan said, when you're already an advocate, though, that is where you then can invite your individuals or your people, your tribe on this journey with you. Like, hey, what are some ways that we can clean up this experience? What are some things that you would like to see? What can we count on in regards to what you need from us or what you want from us on your end as well? And I think about all of these different things. And if you were to walk away with one point from this episode and this power session, is how much do you know about what you're doing and how much do you know about the person that you're doing it with? And do you have the systems that are thoughtfully created and integrated to be able to actually be implemented so that people can engage with your organization and feel proud? That people like myself earlier in the episode, that they're recommending volunteering with your organization. They're recommending donating at your organization. They're recommending coming to various programs that you have in place. Like, how can we build something that is referable? How can we build something that's recommendable? How can we build something that people actually want to share online or share with their colleagues? Dan, close us out.
Kyle, I think that it's really important that nonprofits see themselves as more than the nonprofit. People give to people they trust. They give to people that they like. They give to people who have created experiences for them that make them feel fulfilled. And sometimes a nonprofit can only do so much, but you are an extension of that nonprofit. So you have to understand that you are a piece of this beautiful thing that is serving your community, but you also have to remember that you are an individual as well. And what you can offer as an individual is sometimes different than what your nonprofit can. So to make sure that you understand you have a lot of power yourself as an individual as well.
You know, it's interesting, that power piece, because we've talked about systems this whole episode, and there's a few systems that we would recommend. I know I would recommend for sure. When you think about all these actions, right? Do you have a system to replace it? Like, if you think about someone reaches out to you via email, do you have a way, if somebody fills out a form on your website, for those emails to be automated? That's potentially an email software, whether it's a MailChimp, an Active Campaign, whether it's a HubSpot. Well, like, do you have a system? Do you have a system that tracks who's actually on our email subscriber list and who's engaging and who's downloading our forms and our impact reports and all these things? That's a CRM or a customer relationship management tool. You have Salesforce, you have HubSpot, you have Keep by Infusionsoft. Within our company, we use a platform called Go High Level. Do you have a website that is integrated? Now, most organizations at this point have websites, but do you actually have something that is user friendly? Do you have something that is built on code or vibe coding, such as a platform like Rippling or Lovable, rather than the Squarespaces or the Wix or the WordPress websites? Do you have a platform to receive donations, such as a Better Unite or a GiveButter or a Donor Search? What actions do you want your people to actually integrate or actually do? What actions do you want your people to take? And do you have systems in place? Do you have structures in place from a business backend standpoint that actually can handle the traffic that you're desiring for your organization to get? Dan, what are some of the systems that you've seen that work, that you like, that maybe you don't like, that our audience could be able to hear from as well?
Yeah, I have to say that we've had this conversation with Scott before. I think AI is a great tool. And I love some of the things that AI can create. And obviously there's predictive and generative, but I think the predictive AI, anything that has predictive AI that can be connected to your CRM, that can be connected to your email systems, as Kyle said, we have Go High Level, anything that can help you essentially buy your time back, right? Time is limited, especially in the nonprofit space. Anything that can buy your time back, that allows you to not have to take the time to say, okay, I just emailed this person. Let me go back in my calendar. Let me schedule a time for this, and do that for every single person, for every text message. anything that can buy your time back. Because Kyle, I'll be honest, I'm we've talked about it. I'm boring. I do this stuff myself. This is just in me. But from the systems, like I love Evertrue for nonprofit fundraising. They do a great job with predictive AI and helping you schedule out different things. We know that Scott over at Donor Search has some really great things too. Donor Search and Evertrue, and yeah, I'm about my own systems and how I've built those out over the past decade. What about yourself? What have you used that you really like?
I love Lovable. I'm always a fan of Lovable, and anybody listening will have some of these links for you in a downloadable in the show notes. I love Lovable from a website standpoint. I love Go High Level from a CRM standpoint. For me, I don't like having multiple logins and multiple systems. I think when you're trying to scale, when you think of other team members coming on, I would rather us all be on one platform rather than a multitude of platforms that we have to learn. And I'm a fan of Go High Level because you have your meeting ability, so you can schedule meetings. So I don't need Calendly. You can schedule content, so I don't need Social Blade or other platforms like that. It's an email service, so I don't need Mailchimp. It's a forms, so I don't need Typeform. There is analytics and payment processors, so I don't need PayPal and Square and Stripe and all of those different things. It's already integrated. There's a webinar platform on there, so now I don't need a webinar jam. There is a community feature, so now I don't need Mighty Networks or School. So all of those other platforms that I said are great platforms, but all of that is found in this one platform, and that's why I love it, because now we can build out landing pages and various things on an AI platform such as Lovable, and then we can be able to go over to be able to then integrate everything inside of Go High Level. So now every single action online, when someone clicks a trigger word or when they download something, all of the automations are already built out inside of one platform. So I find that works on my end. But I love what you said, Dan. Like, you can have all of the systems in your business, but you still have to have that human touch. But then, even with that human touch, what systems are you operating? Like, are you getting up on time? Are you following up with people? Are you maximizing your relationships? What are the things that you're also doing as a leader that's listening in that you could be able to be a better leader so that you can show up? How are you taking care of yourself? So it's not just the systems on the back end in the business, which I often focus on a lot, but it's also, like Dana said, the other systems of perfecting your craft, of learning, of being more wise, of building intentional relationships, of scheduling things out on your own personal calendar, blocking out specific time so that you could be able to maximize your time as well. And I think all of those little steps allow you to maximize the back end experiences with ultimately maximize the business experiences. One last point that I would like to say is, like, look, the platform doesn't matter. The platform also doesn't matter if you're not fully utilizing the platform. There's a lot of people that complain about their system, but are you fully utilizing the system? There's a lot of people that complain about their people, but are you fully utilizing your people? There's a lot of people that complain about things, but they're not maximizing the talent, the software, or the AI that they're using to be able to power up or scale what they're doing.
That's true. It doesn't matter what you've got. If you don't have a personal system on how to execute on all of those things, you could have the flashiest technology. But if you don't have the system for yourself on how to get that done and how to work through that, doesn't matter what you have.
We appreciate you for listening to the Power Hour. One of the questions that I want to leave you with is, what system, both personally and professionally, do you need to integrate? What system do you need to put in place in your personal life, whether it's scheduling things out, blocking time, honoring your person that you're in a relationship with? What are those things that you need to put down personally to start integrating? What personal habits do you need to build? And then what are professional potential systems that you can improve upon within your experience that you're having with your people? And if you have questions about these systems, both personally or professionally, reach out, contact us at info@theculturelab.org. But if you want help with actually integrating these systems, maximizing these systems, and understanding how to all of these systems work together, then join the Growth Alliance. Go to jointhegrowthalliance.com, jointhegrowthalliance.com, and be a part of the next wave of fundraisers that are understanding how to prepare and optimize their systems, prove and market online more effectively, understand how to develop more intentional partnerships so that they can advance and propel these relationships forward so that they can grow not only their mission, but the communities that they're called to serve. That's another episode, the Contagious Culture Podcast. And one of the questions that we leave you with is, what type of culture are you spreading? The energy you bring is the culture you create. Make yours worth catching. We'll see you all next episode.